Calaroga Shark Media.
Hi there, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. The news continues to be feisty. I just wanted to do SNL today, but I do need to cover some Theo Von stories. I'll take it a little light on Riyadh today. I have plenty about Riyadh in Sunday's show, and I'll do the late night jokes tomorrow. But let's get to Theo Von. On his podcast this past weekend, he addressed that whole thing with the DHS using his clip, and Theo's comments here get pretty interesting. I have made edits for both language and pacing, but listen to Theo here.
My father immigrated here from Nicaragua, right? Like one of my prized possessions is I have his immigration papers when he came here. And I have them in a frame, and him and his siblings when they came here. And so I have tons of thoughts about it. It was like on all platforms and stuff. So that had me really kind of paranoid. You know, that had me start to get kind of paranoid and, like closing, like, I had the curtains in my house kind of closed. I was just like, you're paranoid. I woke up the next morning to a text from a high government official saying, hey, if you need some extra security in your neighborhood or some extra police cars on patrol, let me know. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Extra security? I don't have any, I don't even know the code to my Ring camera. Like, I don't even know how to log in. So it's like, and what, you're just going to put police cars in my neighborhood? What are my neighbors going to think? Now they're fearful. Like, it just like, I don't know, man. That like really kind of shook me. It really kind of shook me. But you keep marching on.
If you listened to this podcast early on Saturday morning, and why wouldn't you? You have time yet. Theo will be the celebrity guest picker on College Game Day today. Vanderbilt at Alabama. It will mark Theo Von's second appearance on College Game Day. He previously was on the panel as the guest picker at the 2023 SEC Championship between Alabama and Georgia. Saturday Night Live is back tonight. Bad Bunny is your host. Doja Cat is the musical guest. Next week, Amy Poehler on the 50th anniversary of the show proper. Musical guest role model. And on the 18th, Sabrina Carpenter will double up as both host and musical guest. Some people are wondering if Taylor Swift is going to make an appearance tonight. Here's the theories. She already has done the Graham Norton show. She's doing Fallon on the 6th. For some inexplicable reason, she's going to do Seth Meyers on the 8th. I mean, at that point, Taylor, do my podcast. Now, here are some of the clues. Taylor Swift's official social media team, Taylor Nation, created, quote, time card of a showgirl, which highlighted all her upcoming late-night appearances on a calendar, as well as the theatrical release party of The Life of a Showgirl yesterday. But there's a blank space on October 4th, which is today. There's a punch hole on the time card with one word, standby. So that's not stand by, that's standby. Is that a hint of you might want to be on the standby list for Saturday Night Live tonight? Because if it was stand by, that would be two words, would it not? Oh, there's more. The punch card suggests something might be happening around 7 p.m. today on Saturday. Now, you know what usually happens around 7 p.m. on Saturday? The Saturday Night Live standby line opens. You see what we're doing here? Yeah. Now, Bad Bunny, who's the host of SNL tonight, recently was in Happy Gilmore 2, that awful, awful Adam Sandler comedy. You know who else was in that? Travis Kelce, who's Taylor Swift's fiance. Do you see this? Conspiracy, yes. Now, a TikToker pointed out that an Instagram promo for SNL released on October 1st features the voices of people close to Taylor Swift. Some people think you can hear Travis Kelce's voice saying, "Let's start the show." Others think you can hear Selena Gomez saying, "Get the host on the stage for the monologue." And it also sounds like Taylor herself may be saying "standby" in the clip. The color scheme in the SNL promo clip is a very Taylor Swifty orange. So we will see. And I will tell you about that on Monday, because I'm not staying up till 1 in the morning to record Sunday's episode. Deadline talked to a bunch of insiders about the various hirings and firings at SNL and what it means for the show. One source told Deadline, "I think what you're seeing right now is SNL operating in a new era." Is that another clue? Where the talent has more of a voice than ever before. In previous years, when you would hire a cast member, it would be a total discovery. This year, I think it's the first where all four of the comedians they've picked have fairly sizable, kind of niche, but dedicated audiences they've already built on their own. Lorne Michaels at the Emmys said, "The show has always brought people in from different ages and different generations, and that's how it revives itself. It's always hard when people leave, but there's a time for that, and our audiences have always stayed relatively young, and more so now with TikTok, and change is good. The people we're bringing in, I'm really excited about." The new cast members, Jeremy Colhane, described as an improv sketch comedian in the traditional mold. Veronica Slowakowska, you may recognize her from Shane Gillis's Tires show. She has a substantial following on TikTok and Insta. Tommy Brennan was a 2023 Just for Laughs new face. One source jokes that he looks like every white dude, meaning he might be in a lot of the Everyman sketches. And Cam Patterson, you know him from Kill Tony, regular appearances on Kill Tony. Also Ben Marshall from the Please Don't Destroys. He gets bumped up. Insiders say the hiring process at SNL started in August with showcases in LA, New York, and Chicago, followed by screen tests and an unusually large round of final meetings with Lorne Michaels, who met around 10 comics. A source compared the casting to a wide net rather than the usual clarity, saying it felt more like a sports league draft with, I almost said Al Michaels, Lorne Michaels. Ultimately, Al Michaels calls football. Did you see the 49ers win that game? I don't know how they won that game. How did they win that game? Rams. You had that 3 times. I'm a Niners fan. I can't believe the Niners won that game. With Lorne Michaels ultimately picking the best talent available on the board. Insiders say Lorne was leaning away from hiring stand-ups. One said SNL at one point was openly says he's done hiring stand-ups. He wants to take a break from hiring stand-ups. Another insider said, I must say Al Michaels again. Boy, Lorne Michaels. You know what? Al Michaels should take over Saturday Night Live for a year. I would watch that. I'm not sure Lorne Michaels would be good at Thursday Night Football, but I would watch an Al Michaels produced show. I like Al Michaels. He's very personable. Lorne Michaels and team have smartly covered the bases in their casting for this season. The insider says it makes sense to reach out to different circles because if you're building a show for everyone, then you pick comedians from every sort of comedy circle. They also point out that Marcelo Hernandez, who has broken out, particularly with his Domingo character, yes, his wonderful Domingo character, he's really good at that, and the 17 variants on that exact same character that he does. Show me some range tonight, Marcelo. But they say Marcelo has broken out, even if there have been some whiffs with newer talent. They say the sheen is off a little bit that Pete Davidson, who yesterday was just at the Riyadh Comedy Festival, his father was killed in 9/11, Pete was at Riyadh. He's the last example of someone that, quote, everyone wanted a piece of. People coming off the show are not getting propelled into the comedy sky in the same way. Things are just different. They put their time and energy and hard work, and the platform just doesn't have the same weight that it used to. Insiders again, I think 5 years ago, if you asked any young comic if they wanted to go all out and make a taped audition for SNL, the automatic answer would be yes. Now it's a difficult process. It's obviously hard to get on the show that I feel a lot of people are split. David Sims in The Atlantic says what could signal a meaningful change are the show's newcomers. It's notable how immediately new SNL cast members can now be evaluated by the public thanks to the internet and dopes in their basement with podcasts. I don't think David said quite that, but you know what I mean. For most of the show's existence, Lorne Michaels and his team would gather folks from around the country's most acclaimed improv troupes and sketch comedy theaters, Second City, Groundlings, UCB. The SNL diehards would gather information about the upcoming performers' live acts. Most of this year's editions have resumes that reflect the collective shift of comedy production in recent years. They found their footing not on stage, but on podcasts, TikTok, and streaming platforms. David then breaks down the cast members. We already did that today, and points out that Cam Patterson's most popular material includes lots of tacit admiration for Trump and casual use of slurs in front of guests. Until now, Lorne Michaels has almost entirely avoided recruiting performers of that ilk. Perhaps he was discouraged by the firestorm that erupted after he hired Shane Gillis 6 years later. Michaels seems ready to take another swipe at the hot stove. Kate McKinnon, she was on Saturday Night Live for a while and was pretty good at it. She spoke to CBS News about comedy in today's world. Kate McKinnon says political satire is a very important part of a functioning society. I also think that just goofiness and laughter are vital, not only art, but in between people. It is healthy, and I think just kindness and joy and laughter are such important things and just the reason we're alive, and so that's what I like to bring to people. She misses SNL, but I really love going to bed early, and that's what I've been doing more of, and I really enjoy it. I miss the people so much. I hear you. That 49ers game the other night, Johnny Mac was up till 11:20 on a school night. Are you crazy? Carol Burnett has never hosted Saturday Night Live. Carol was recently profiled in The New Yorker. I want to dive in on that at some point. It's been busy around these parts. She was asked why she thinks Lorne Michaels has never asked her to host Saturday Night Live. Here's my question. Has Al Michaels ever asked Carol Burnett to be the guest analyst on Thursday Night Football? And if not, Why not? But I digress. Carol Burnett asked about Lorne Michaels, said, I don't know what I did to upset that man. Do you think it's misogynistic? The New Yorker says, I'm leaving that in. I'm leaving it in. The New Yorker said, Lorne Michaels declined to comment. Response, I'm not even doing a bit. Now, to be fair here, I didn't think this was weird until someone brought it up, meaning the New Yorker or Carol Burnett. So Carol Burnett, in her heyday, the Carol Burnett Show ran from 1967 to 1978 on CBS. So, okay, it makes sense, I guess, that Carol Burnett didn't host Saturday Night Live those first few years when she had her own show on CBS. Plus, think of Carol Burnett, who's in her 90s now, as a different generation than, say, Dan Aykroyd. So I don't think that's crazy that they didn't have Carol Burnett host then. And then as SNL became more establishment programming, Carol Burnett really hasn't been in the public eye until the last few years when she started showing up on things like Better Call Saul. I mean, we all love Carol Burnett. I worked with Carol Burnett 10, 12, 15, I don't know how long ago it is, years. We did a thing at SiriusXM when they were promoting a Carol Burnett DVD box set, ? Anyway, I got to meet Miss Burnett, and she was fantastic. Amy Schumer hosted that. I'm sure you can find some clips online somewhere. But I don't think it's crazy that Carol Burnett never hosted SNL, and I think it would be awesome if she hosted it now, although she is in her 90s. Does Carol Burnett want to do that? She says, no, I don't think I would. Maybe like 20 years ago or whatever, but that ship has sailed. Remember Mr. Bill? You got to be old to remember Mr. Bill, but if you're old like me, you remember Mr. Bill and how awesome Mr. Bill was. Mr. Bill is back. Oh no, Mr. Bill. Tonight at 11:30 on YouTube. Interesting timing there. I mean, guys, put it out at 11. What are you doing going head-to-head with SNL? This new show is Mr. Bill's Saturday Night Matinee, a new weekly variety show. Tonight, 11:30 Eastern, hosted by Mr. Bill from his cozy apartment in the Hollywood Hills. The new series features restored public domain comedy clips reimagined in Bill Vision, vintage commercials, surprise guests, and yes, the Mr. Bill classic SNL shorts that started it all. Mr. Bill started as a no-budget home movie sent in by Walter Williams. Williams is part of this new project and says, these are the shows that inspired Mr. Bill in the first place. The Three Stooges, Harold Lloyd, the Beverly Hillbillies, restored and reimagined for a new generation. But don't worry, there's still plenty of pain and destruction awaiting our host. In recent months, Mr. Williams has taken to social media to challenge Lorne Michaels' long-standing dismissal of the character of Mr. Bill. There's a quote in the recent Susan Morrison biography in which Lorne Michaels said the Mr. Bill films carried, quote, a certain kind of racial tension. Now, I can't tell you the last time I saw a Mr. Bill sketch. My brain is going, it is? And maybe I'm tone deaf, or maybe I was 7 years old and didn't notice it. I don't remember that. I just remember a Play-Doh character kind of get messed up. So I'm sorry if I'm self-canceling right now. As soon as I finish recording here, I'm going to go watch some Mr. Bill and refresh my memory. But I don't remember it that way at all.
Say, Mr. Bill, where are you going?
I'm on my way to a big Hollywood party at Ken and Barbie's. Gee, I sure hope G.I. Joe is there.
Well, how about some Coke first to help get you in the mood?
Well, I'd rather a diet soda. You know, I've been trying to cut down on my sweets.
Well, here comes your agent, Sluggo, and he says all he has is Coke.
No, wait, no.
Williams called the allegation hurtful and disappointing and said if Lorne had been concerned about racial tension, he was the only human who could have stopped them. I made 25 Mr. Bill films over the first 5 years, and Lorne seemed quite pleased with the success and kept ordering more. Williams said neither he nor Mr. Bill were invited to SNL's 50th anniversary celebrations. And while we're talking about this, Mr. Bill has never appeared on Thursday Night Football. What is Al Michaels' problem with Mr. Bill? What's going on there? I would watch that, right? So it's, I don't know, a Jaguars game. Al Michaels is there with Kirk Herbstreit. Trevor Lawrence throws an interception that's clearly going to be a pick six. Al Michaels goes quiet. Mr. Bill goes, oh no! Come on, that would be awesome television. And the kids today, see, I told you I had a lot of SNL, but I had to get to the Theo Von thing. The kids today are watching SNL. No, they're not sitting in front of the television like us old people. And us old people are going to bed and just watching clips on Sunday morning, honestly. But Saturday Night Live, this shocked is a little strong. Surprised me. Saturday Night Live was the #1 U.S. YouTube channel by reach over the first 6 months of 2025. SNL's YouTube channel reached 38.6 million U.S. users between January 1st and June 30th, outpacing things like ABC News, NBC News, IGN, CNN, ESPN, Netflix, and the NFL. Another SNL article. The LA Times was curious about how President Trump might react to it. You know, President Trump has a lot of opinions on shows that air at 11:30. Back in 2019, the president tweeted nothing funny about tired Saturday Night Live on fake news NBC. Question is, how do the networks get away with these total Republican hit jobs without retribution? Likewise, for many other shows, very unfair and should be looked into. This is the real collusion. We'll see if Mr. Trump enjoys James Austin Johnson and or Bad Bunny tonight. Mr. Trump didn't like Alec Baldwin's impression in March 2019. Trump wrote, SNL continues knocking the same person, me, over and over without so much of a mention of the other side. Mr. Trump was upset about a rerun that night, like an advertisement without consequences. The Daily Beast said Trump reportedly asked advisors and lawyers in early 2019 what the FCC, the court system, and even the Department of Justice could do to look into SNL and other late-night comedy figures who had mocked him. Again, kind of a funny news story in 2019. In 2025, that's really interesting, right? The president has commented on Lorne Michaels, saying that Lorne is angry and exhausted. The show, even more so, was once good, never great, but now, like the late-night losers who have lost their audience but have no idea why, it's over for SNL. A great thing for America. Now, a Google search of Trump and Al Michaels did not turn up any comments from the president, but Al Michaels, back in 2017, was responding to comments by Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump had told a crowd that an NFL player who disrespects our flag should be fired. Al Michaels said once the president made those remarks in Alabama, at that particular point, it was just like throwing a match into a gas tank. During the offseason, both sides have to sit down and figure out a way to make this situation where it doesn't overwhelm the conversation about the NFL. This same article I'm reading from the Washington Post says Al Michaels discussed a comment he had made during Sunday Night Football in which he joked that the Giants are coming off a worse week than Harvey Weinstein. Later in that telecast, Al Michaels apologized, saying, I was trying to be a little flip about somebody obviously very much in the news all over the country, and was not meant in that manner. Live television is a tightrope. It's amazing it doesn't happen more often. Once in a while, you're going to say something you wish you could reel back in. The one thing about our business is we don't have take two. You heard me talk about this recently with a friend of the show, Mike Chisholm, who hosts the Letterman podcast, and I've said, you say enough things into the microphone, you will say something you wish you had phrased better or you wish you had never said, and I probably did today. And that is your comedy news, Saturday Night Live, 11:30. Also, Mr. Bill on YouTube at 11:30. See you tomorrow.